Welcome to our Automate Document Workflows and Signature Collection with Zoho Sign, Zoho Flow. I'm Nandana Krishnan, a product marketer for Zoho Sign, and I'm product marketer for Zoho Flow. Our panelists will be asking your questions as we present this session. Let's get started. Let me quickly take you through the agenda for today's session. I will be giving you a brief view of Zoho Sign, and for that, I'm going to action and show you how to use Zoho Flow to integrate Zoho Sign other apps and be a live demo of the integration. Following that, we will have a Q&A session, but feel free to post your questions throughout the session. Before we start the session, we will be posting two questions. Please take a minute to answer the first question on your screen. Okay, from the poll, it seems like we have a mix of Zoho Sign and Zoho Flow users who are interested in learning the other product. I will now move on to the next question. See, the majority are already using or looking to create custom integrations. With that, I'll just get the session started with a lot of work really look in modern businesses with minimal or no digitization and automation. Here's the story of every single piece of paperwork. Every piece of paperwork done manually goes through multiple steps like drafting, printing, scanning, making copies, signing the documents, sending these documents by fax or mail, collecting signatures, formalizing after turnaround, collecting payments, raising invoices and billing, securing, storing these documents for audits or accounts. Yes, all this work for a single piece of paperwork. Now, obviously, nobody likes drowning in a sea of paperwork. But if this is a familiar scenario, then you are no stranger to these problems. With manual paperwork, agreements are scattered all over the workplace. The process is repetitive, it is cumbersome, it is obviously time consuming, and there are concerns of trust, security, and compliance. You for yourself, here is what the modern workplace looks like. Businesses are being done remotely with rising hybrid workplaces, digital first experiences, and transactions across borders and time zones. Here's where Zoho Sign comes in. Zoho Sign helps you draft payments with ease, collaborate with stakeholders across various departments, automate workflows to minimize manual intervention, ID verification to authenticate signers, collect payments from within agreements, and collect signatures from anywhere at any time. To find out how Zoho Sign can help you, here's a quick run through of Zoho Sign's top features. A very obvious feature is that Zoho Sign can help you collect sign documents online and collect signatures and approvals easily and securely. But for commonly reused documents, you can use the template feature, and you can also use sign forms to collect signatures using a link that can be embedded onto your website. And you can use bulk send or bulk sign for more efficiency. You can also produce and manage legally binding documents. Audit trails help keep track of all the activity and help you generate reports to ensure accountability. You can also automate your processes with field detection and summarize long documents with text summarization. Also, Zoho Sign can be used across different departments in your organization. Here is a list of some of the things that you can do with Zoho Sign in sales, HR, finance, IT, legal, marketing, facilities, support, product management, and procurement. But again, this list is not exhaustive. Please feel free to explore and identify other areas where Zoho Sign can be used. Here we have an overview of some of the major e-signature laws around the globe. Zoho Sign is fully compliant with all of these regional electronic and digital signature regulations, such as the PIPEDA in Canada, the eSign Act in the USA, Norm 151 in Mexico, ECTA in South Africa, KICA in Kenya, the EIDAS in the European Union, ZERT-ES in Switzerland, the ETL in Saudi Arabia, ITA 2000 in India, ETA in Australia, Singapore, and other parts of Southeast Asia. Here's how we make sure to keep your data secure. Data centers across countries, and we are constantly in the process of building more to meet the highest standards of security and privacy. implemented by compliance with data privacy and security regulations. GDPR, HIPAA, FDA CFR Title 21, Part 11, and more. This is further backed by detailed reports, tamper-proof audit trails, blockchain-based timestamping, and trusted document digital timestamping. Zoho Sign offers encryption at rest and in transit. We also mandate the use of multi-factor authentication, which adds an extra layer of security to keep unauthorized individuals at bay, and we use a single set of credentials across apps. We also do not trackers or ads to monitor what you do, which ensures data security. We provide automated backup to cloud storage. If you are an organization in the healthcare industry, here's something for you as well. Zoho Sign offers a specialized compliance module that helps them adhere to strict data privacy regulations. Zoho Sign also integrates with a network of trusted third-party service providers all over the globe. The services offered include identity verification, digital signature creation, timestamping, and electronic stamp duty payment. On your screen, you can see that we have a list of integrations that we currently offer, like Global Sign, Tenda World, PSC World, etc. We are also constantly striving to build more integrations in different countries across the globe. Now that we have a brief idea of Zoho Sign, let me give you a quick product tour to give you a better idea of what it does and what to expect. What you see on your screen is the Zoho Sign's web interface that is designed to be intuitive and user-friendly. There are two primary functions, as you can see. The Sign Yourself button allows you to sign documents for sending, while the more popular Send for Signature button is used to send documents to collect signatures from recipients. With Zoho Sign, you can create sophisticated e-signature workflows easily. You can upload your documents from your device, popular cloud storage services, or choose from a range of customizable templates. You can easily add signers, assign signing orders, and select the delivery method, which is one of two, email or SMS. Customize your document workflow by assigning roles to recipients and choosing from different authentication options, including email, SMS, or dynamic knowledge-based authentication, which is specific to the US users. This guarantees authenticity and legal compliance. You can also choose from a list of preferred email and to accommodate users. Further enhance by copying required signature certificate types or signatures from multiple providers based on your organization's specific needs. Additional settings allow you to configure the validity of the signing link, the folder to which the document goes. This is for easy management. Enable automatic reminders to reduce overall document time, and you can also add private and public notes for all your recipients. After all your preferences are set, your document you can use with Zia on AI. If not, you can opt for the traditional drag and drop feature where you can drag the required fields and drop them onto the document, and you can continue with your signing process. You can track your documents in real time with the detailed document view. Once the document is sent, you can track document progress, including delivery, view, and signature status directly from the Documents tab. This comprehensive tracking ensures a complete and transparent audit trail, allowing you to verify the authenticity of your document at every step. Zoho Sign offers granular document management through filtered views. Users can efficiently monitor document status and progress, facilitating a streamlined workflow. Our comprehensive report feature provides a holistic overview of document lifecycle and user activity via intuitive visualization. This enables detection of alterations and maintains a robust audit trail, ensuring accountability and adherence to regulatory requirements. Moreover, Zoho Sign is synchronized on the cloud across all platforms, so you can access and manage a document at your convenience from anywhere, at any time, on the device of your choice. We have a native mobile app for iOS and Android. We also have a desktop for Windows and Mac OS. So you can go ahead and download Zoho Sign for an enhanced e-signing experience while you're on the move. Further, you can integrate Zoho Sign with any of these Zoho or third-party apps like Microsoft, Google, CRM apps, integration platforms, or even cloud storage apps without any complex setups or data migrations. Link your Zoho Sign account and connect with the apps in your existing workflows for a seamless digital experience. If you have any more questions or suggestions for us, feel free to contact our dedicated support team by reaching out to us at support@zohosign.com or support@eu.zohosign.com for the EU users. To stay updated on our latest features, trends, and events, join our community by subscribing to Zoho Sign on YouTube and follow Zoho Sign on X and LinkedIn. Now that we have an idea of Zoho Sign, we will move on to a brief overview of Zoho Flow and its functionalities. What is Zoho Flow? Zoho Flow is an automation platform that connects different apps and automates workflows without the need for any coding. Being a powerful integration program, Zoho Flow connects all the apps that you are already using in your business and helps you automate your business workflows by bridging the gaps between the different tools that you use. Obviously, a standout feature of Zoho Flow is its ability to build custom workflows in minutes. Here's an example of how you can automate a process. Imagine you receive a new form entry. This could be a customer inquiry or even a support request. Flow lets you set up a decision point based on specific conditions. For example, if the form entry is a demo request, the workflow will create a ticket in your support system and notify the pre-sales team instantly. The drag and drop interface that you see makes it easy to visually structure and connect different actions, giving you the complete control to design processes that fit your exact business needs. So no matter how unique your workflows are, Zoho Flow empowers you to set them up without the need for any coding knowledge. With Zoho Flow, you can integrate applications across environments, giving your business the flexibility to streamline operations. Most organizations today operate in hybrid environments, and some apps are hosted in the cloud while others are hosted on-prem. Zoho Flow enables you to seamlessly connect these diverse systems, whether they're entirely on the cloud or on-premise or a combination of both, making it easy to bring these different environments together so that your team can work without any boundaries, and access the data whenever they need, no matter where it is stored. With the power to connect with over 900 applications, you can create countless integrations across the tools that your business relies on. And this is on an everyday basis. Whether it is CRM, project management, email marketing, finance, or customer support, Zoho Flow integrates with the most popular apps in each category. On your screen, you can see a QR code. If you scan the QR code on the top right corner, you can learn more about our app library and see the full list of the available integrations. If you have any more questions or suggestions for us, feel free to contact our support team by reaching out to us at support@zohoflow.com. To stay updated on the latest features, trends, and events, join our community by subscribing to Zoho Flow on YouTube and follow Zoho Flow on X and LinkedIn. I will now hand over the session to Naman. He will take you through Zoho Sign's integration with Zoho Flow, and he will be giving you a live demo of the use cases of this integration.
Thank you, Nandana. Just give me a moment as I share my screen. So we've understood Zoho Sign and Zoho Flow from Nandana from a theoretical aspect. Now, how do you understand these products when you get into them, when you sign for the first time? That's what you're going to understand throughout the demo. Since it's a mix of new people or new attendees for Zoho Sign and for Zoho Flow, we'll keep the use cases simple so that they can just get started with it. However, there are a lot of resources that both these products have on their website for you to get in detail, or else we also have a support team always available for you to help you out. With that, let's understand Zoho Sign and then we will move to Zoho Flow. So when it comes to Zoho Sign, there are three things that we're going to understand today. The first is, how do you send a document for signatures? How do you sign a document yourself? And how could you quickly create a template? So when you log into your Zoho Sign account, you would see send for signatures or sign yourself. We'll start off with sending a document for signature. When you click on it, you'll have to first upload a document. Now that could be done either from desktop cloud or templates. We'll touch templates a little later. Cloud is a little straightforward. We'll pick something from the desktop. What I have two sample agreements or two sample documents that I'm going to use throughout the use cases. So there's some recall value for all of us. So now that the document has been uploaded, you can change the name of the document. For now, it's just sample partner agreement. Let's say if I want to remove sample and just have partner agreement, that's the document name that I'm going to use. Then the first thing that you probably do is you fill in the email ID of the person you want to send through. In this case, I want to send it to Bruce. The bruceszilka.com is the email ID. It populates the name automatically, which you could change. Followed by that, you have something as needs to sign. Now, when you expand the drop down, you have a couple of options. So the first one is needs to sign. It means that Bruce, in this case, has to sign the document. Second is an in-person signer. Let's say you may have a use case where somebody has to be in person to sign the document. That's where you would use in-person signer. Then signs it as witness. There are certain documents where you need witness to be to sign. So that's where you would use signs as witness. Then you have approver. In this case, they will not sign the document, but they'll review the document and approve it. Finally, is receives the copy, where they would have no stake of signing it or approving it. However, they would just receive a copy of the document. For our use case, you're just going to go with needs to sign, followed by how do you want to deliver the link for them to sign. It could be either via email or email plus SMS. Let's just go with email. The last option that I have right now is customize. So Nandana did talk about this, so I won't go in detail, but I'll just quickly show. Let's say if I need a private message to be sent only to Bruce, I'm going to write it here. For example, please sign the document. All right. Then if you need them to authenticate it, you could either send them an email OTP, an SMS OTP, or an offline OTP. They could use it to authenticate it. Followed by, if you want to change the language, there are a host of languages to choose from. You could choose any of it. And digital signature provider. As Nandana had shown during the session, you can have multiple. I'm not going to show much into it. Let's hit save. So now I have a private message for Bruce. So when he gets the document, he'll be able to read this. What if you have multiple people to sign? You have more recipients. So let's add somebody now. You have an add recipient button. When you click on it, like how we had done earlier, we're just going to add an email ID. Tom@Zilka is what I'm going to add. Again, the options are the same. You could choose what you need based on your use case. However, there's a new button that's come. That's delete. In case, let's say you have about 5-6 recipients and you decide, hey, no, I only need 4, I need 3, or I need to remove, that's when you would use this delete button. Now, there are also a couple of ways in which these documents could be signed. The first is if you want it in a parallel way, a sequential way. Let's say I want Bruce to sign, then Tom, then maybe you want me to sign. So it could be in that order, or else it could be parallel. If you need it parallel, parallel means both Bruce and Tom can sign at the same time. There's no order involved. So if you do not want it in an order, but in parallel, you would uncheck the box that reads send an order. So the numbers that you were seeing earlier have gone away. But the same now, if you want it in a sequence, click on it and you have the numbers back. You can always rearrange it from here or just enter the number or the order you want it in. Right now, I'm just going to stick to it, but I hope you get the thought here. Then there are more settings, which again, Nandana had spoken about. There are a host of activities to do here based on your use case. So once you're done with it, let's hit continue. The document's loading. Just give it a moment, please. All right. So this is just a sample document that I have that you're going to use to send and collect signatures. Now, there are 3 parties or 3 people that have to sign. So on the recipients list, you have pre-filled by you. In this case, it would be me, Bruce, and Tom. Let's start from the top. That's pre-filled by you. So what I need to do is I just want to sign the document and give a name, or rather give my name. So I'm going to drag and drop signature from the right. and drop it wherever again you want it on a document. In my document, I want it on the left hand or the left side. So I've dropped it there. Followed by, I need the full name. I need my full name. So I'm just going to drag and drop that here. Again, you can place it wherever you want based on a document. This is all I want to sign. What about Bruce? I need Bruce to fill in a couple of details. For example, when is it effective from? Which company is he from? And his sign and name. So the first thing I need is date. So I can drag and drop date from the fields here into the blank space. Similarly, company. So I'm going to drag and drop company as well and place it here. However, if you have some custom fields or you want to create some custom fields, you have a tab that allows you to create custom fields here. I'll go back to standard field and I'll continue. Now I want him to sign the document. So I'm going to drag and drop it here, followed by I need his full name. So just below that, I'm going to add the full name. Now this is what I want Bruce to do. Now what I want Tom to do, I just want him to sign. So I'm just going to add his signature here. Again, I can add his name and I can add whatever other details I need here. But for now, for our use case, we'll keep it simple. This is all I want to do. Now on the top, you would see detect fields. This is something again Nandan had spoken about during the session. Then you have actions. If you want to apply some fields from templates, if you want to just go back, that's the back button. And there are two ways to send it. You can either send it immediately or schedule it for a specific time. I'm just going to send it right away. Now, before we send, you need to just review it that, hey, yes, Bruce has 4 fields. We had 4 for him and Tom just had 1. In case you want to make changes, you can cancel it and start working again on the document, or else just hit confirm. So now the document has gone to Bruce and to Tom to sign it. Now this was one way, or others, if you want to send document for signature. How about if you want to sign the signature, or if you want to sign a document yourself? So go to sign yourself, select the document like how we had done last time. I'm again going to go to desktop, and here I have a sample NDA agreement. I'm just going to upload that. Give it a moment as it uploads, please. Okay, a little slow, but it'll get there eventually. Yes, it's here. Similar like last time, you can change the name. I'm just going to stick with it. Hit continue. The document loads. I have a lot of fields to save time. I'm not going to do it, but the principle is still the same. Drag and drop based on your contract, or rather your document. Now I just need to sign. So I'm going to add my signature here. I can also resize the box based on what size I need. And let me just add my name as well. So the name box also can be resized. So yeah, it can be resized to your liking. So now that I'm done, I'll hit finish. Now, who do I just want to send it to? Let's say in this case, I'll just send it to Tom. I'm sending the Tom and telling him, hey, look, the document is being signed by me. So now we've understood how to create a document to send for signatures, how to sign a document yourself. But what about templates that you could reuse multiple times? So on the left, you would see an option called templates. When you click on it, all the templates that you've created would be listed. Let's create one from the top right. Again, the principle is the same. We'll upload a document. I'm going to reuse the NDA document again. And in this case, this document would act as an extension to our use case in Zoho Flow. So in Zoho Flow, we are looking at, let's say, an employee, a new employee is onboarded, and we want to send them an NDA document to sign. So keeping that in mind, we'll kind of create this document or this template. However, you could change it based on your use case, based on the document you have uploaded here. So in our case, we have an employee, a new employee. So I'm just going to add that new employee has to sign here. Now, there's certain differences, or there's practically one difference between what we saw when we are sending a document for signature versus creating a template. In the previous case, we knew who we are sending it to and the name and everything was there. But here, since it's a template, we're going to reuse it multiple times. So we are going to just define where who's going to sign, and every time we need the template, we are going to send it for signature. So in this case, it's a new employee. Now let's assume this NDA document is maybe between you and your client for an agreement to deliver certain deliverables or project. So it could be between client. So you could probably rename this as client, and it could be you, the second one, or it could be somebody else from your company, or if it's between you and the vendor, that's also possible. So again, name this based on your use case and requirement. You can add a recipient as well, similar to what we've done here. For now, I'm not adding anybody, just keeping it simple. Other features, other things remain the same. Let's hit continue. The document loads. Just give it a moment. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, again, let's pre-fill what I have to do here. I'm just going to add my signature, and maybe let's say I'll add my name. Okay. Followed by what I need the participant, or in this case, the new employee to do. So for example, I just need them to get the date in. So I'm going to drag and drop date in the field here. By, I need their full name. I'm going to drag and drop it here. I'm not going to fill others, but you get the idea. This is how it would proceed. And at the end, I need them to sign. Sorry, my mistake. I have to delete this. Yeah, delete and delete. So I need the new employee to give me a date, and I need them to give me their full name. So I'm going to drag and drop that here, and I need them to sign. So let's add their signature, and just for safety's sake, I'm going to get their full name as well below that. So this is my document, and I'm going to save it now. So now my template is ready. Now this is just the tip of what Zoho Sign could do for you. There are a lot more. We've not gone into reports, sign form settings. Please do feel free to explore it. And in case you have questions, you have resources on the website, or our support team is there to all help you out. Now that we've had a basic understanding of Zoho Sign, let's try and understand Zoho Flow. Now, when you log into your Zoho Flow account, it's probably going to be empty here. There are a lot of flows because I use this account extensively. So please don't worry. The first thing that you'll have to do is go and hit create a flow. So now flow name. So what are we trying to do? As it's telling you that, hey, we've tried onboarding, or we've onboarded a new employee and we want to send them an NDA document. So let's try doing that here. So new employee NDA document. Okay. So this is what I'm going to name my flow. Again, your use case, please choose what name matches for that, or you are able to recall with or identify your flow with. So let's hit create. Just give it a moment. Yeah. So now you need to choose a trigger. But before we get into what trigger are we going to choose, let's try and understand what a trigger is and what an action is. So a trigger is an event that kickstarts your workflow, whereas an action or actions are subsequent steps that are a part of your workflow. Now your workflow can only have one trigger, but multiple actions. Now, with this in mind, let's see what trigger Zoho Flow has. Zoho Flow allows you to create a workflow using any of these 6 triggers. An app trigger is straightforward. Zoho Flow has an app. You could use it to create your workflow. You have schedule triggers. Schedule triggers are workflows, or if you'll use a schedule trigger when you need to kickstart a workflow on a scheduled time or a specific time. Then you have webhook trigger. This is useful when you do not have an application in Zoho Flow and you want to use that application as a trigger. Or else, if let's say you're using a Zoho CRM or a Zoho Creator and you've created blueprints at the back end, and you want to pass values from there, or based on events from there, you could use a webhook trigger where we will give you a URL to paste it on the app in the application, so that any event that comes through or happens over there as a payload comes into Zoho Flow and it triggers your workflow. Now, similar to that is URL trigger. In URL trigger, just like webhook, we would use a URL to pass the data. However, in webhook, we give you a URL. In URL trigger, you will have to give us a URL for us to go ping at regular intervals and check if there's been any update. URL trigger is especially useful when you have a customized environment or an application that may not have the capability of a webhook or to pass values via webhook. Followed by that, we have an email trigger. Let's assume you have sales orders or purchase orders coming in, or maybe even invoices coming in a templatized email. You know where the details are going to be or against what, in which line they're going to be. So what you could do is create a template, or create the template in Zoho Flow, and every time you receive that email in that template, your workflow gets triggered. Last is an RSS or an Atom feed. It's a simple one. For example, even Zoho has its own Atom feed or RSS feed, which helps you understand if there could be any delays in the server or the servers are working fine. You could probably use this trigger just to get notified and know that, hey, I may face some slowness because right now these servers are a bit slow. With this in mind, we would go with app trigger because I have Zoho Recruit as an app here. So let's search for Zoho Recruit. Oh yeah, Zoho Recruit is what I am going to use as my recruitment management in this case, in this use case. So once I select Zoho Recruit, these are the triggers that Zoho Recruit offers. Similarly, if you look at Zoho Sign would have a different set of triggers. Likewise, any other product. Now, for my use case, when a record is updated, that's when I need the workflow to kickstart. So let's go to record updated. Hit next. Now, the first thing that you would notice here is connection. Now, this is important because Zoho Flow would not know, right, from where your data is coming or where it has to go. So connections are critical for the trigger and for any action that you use out there to build your workflow. Now, I have a connection here, but I'll quickly show you how you could create a new connection. However, I will not be creating a new one. So when you go to new, give your connection a name. These are all the triggers and actions, or if you want to just give certain specific triggers and actions access to your connection, you can do that. Once this is set, or rather I would suggest go with all triggers and actions, and once you're done with this, you hit authorize on the bottom right. A pop-up will open showing you all the details that Zoho Flow would be accessing via your connection via APIs. In case you reject it, we will not be able to establish a connection. Go through it, read it. If you're comfortable, then authorize a connection, or else we will not be able to create one. So now that we already have one, we're going to select that. But what if you have multiple connections? All of them for Zoho Recruit in this instance would be listed. So you can select any of the connections. So Frank's connection is what I'm going to use. Variable name can be changed. Now module. I need a specific module to get an update. In my case, it's going to be candidates. I can definitely hit done here. However, a tip for you would be to use filter criteria. Now, why am I saying so? Let's say you have about 5-6 different candidates for just one job role, and all of them are at different stages. You do not want your workflow to execute for all of them. You want only certain conditions to be satisfied, and only then your workflow is executed. You could definitely use decisions, which I would cover a little later on in the use case to handle that. However, a better approach would be to use filter criteria. In decision, what would happen is your trigger would execute in the workflow, and then based on the decision, it would take a certain path. However, with filter criteria, your workflow will not execute because the triggering criteria does not match or is not fulfilled. So under filter criteria, oh yeah, another benefit here would be if you use filter criteria, you would not consume a task. It would not count one and it'll just stop. So on the status, which I will talk about shortly, it would show filter. So what I'm going to do is first choose what field do I need this to be filtered for. So I'm going to use a status. So candidate status. Now what condition do I need to give? In my case, I'm giving equals case insensitive. You can choose again based on your condition. and I'm going to go with hired. So if the candidate status equals hired, only then will my workflow trigger, or else it will not. Let's hit done. Now we are in the builder where we're going to start building our workflows. On the right, you can see apps. Here are all the apps and their respective actions. For our use case, we have to go to Zoho Sign. Now, when I expand Zoho Sign, these are the list of actions that Zoho Sign has in Zoho Flow. For my use case, I'm going to send them a document. So let's just drag and drop it in a builder. Like you're selling trigger or you needed a connection. Similarly, for actions, you need a connection, and the process to create new is the same. Variable name can be changed. Template. This is where the template that we had created would come into picture. So I'm going to go with the NDA that we had done. So here you see there are a lot of fields. We are only going to map fields that are required by us, not all of them. So for example, full name. So it was my name. I can hard code it, for example, Frank, or I can data map it, which will make it more dynamic in nature, or it could be a mix of both. So I'll try showing you all of it by mapping a few fields. So the first instance, what I've done is full name. I've just kept it as Frank. I have hard coded it. So every time the workflow executes, Frank's name would be constant, irrespective of what data changes. Followed by, I need the recipient's name. So now that keeps changing every time. I can again code it, let's say Bruce, but then since it keeps changing every time, let's see how you can do it. We are going to go to recruit, that's on the top right, and search for the name. You can either scroll down, or a quick way would be search on top. So when I put name, I'm getting a couple of things. So I'm going to go with full name. And similarly for their email ID, I'll do the same, email. So email is what I'm going to use. Now, let's say, for example, I need to add something here. In this case, let's say I just want to add Tom's name as well. So every time the workflow executes, the name in, okay, let's take an example, Bella. So it would be Bella Tom. Another example could be Bruce Tom. So Tom would remain constant, whereas the name, sorry, yeah, whereas the name here would keep changing. I'm going to remove Tom. This is just to help you understand. I hope you've got the point here. Now, other data fields can be mapped, but for now, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hit done. Now, my basic workflow, it's simple. One trigger, one action is ready. So let's switch this on. Okay. Now I'm just going to take it to Zoho Recruit. Don't worry, I'm not going to run the product through you, but I'm just going to change the status of candidate name Watson. Let's go change the status from, let it load. Just give me a moment. Okay, we'll try some other candidate. No problem. Okay, we'll try this. We go to hired. Okay. And yeah. So Adam Smith is right now hired. His status is changed to hired. Let's go back to Zoho Flow and check. So you see the workflow has been completed here. Now, why is history important, or how is history important here? See, in our case, it's completed, but there are chances where it could have failed for some reason. It could have queued for some reason. And when we were building the trigger, or when we started building the workflow, I was talking about filtered criteria. Here, if that was the case, let's say for some reason the status is different, instead of complete, the status would have showed filtered. So it helps you understand how your each execution has completed, or what's been the status, or what path has it taken. Now, when you click on it, you would get the input output function. This is again useful when you want to kind of test and debug your entire workflow and see, hey, what went wrong, what went right. In case though it's completed, but then it's not executed or the end result is not as per your expectation, you could come to input output function and check what's happened. So in our case, if you scroll down, see Mr. Adam Smith has received the document. This is just a simple use case that we've shown. Now let's try expanding this with a couple more things. With the same use case, the same trigger, the same action, but we've added a couple more elements. So what I'm trying to achieve here is when I send a document, I I also want to send them an email telling that, hey, look, I have sent you an email and please sign it within the next 144 hours. Now I've got the email ID from for this person from Zoho Recruit and it's done. Now from where did I get the send email action? Send email action falls under logic. In logic, you have flow controls. We'll come to it shortly. You have notifications where you can send an email, and that's where I've got the send email action. If you have any custom functions, which is written in Deluge, they'll all be written here or listed here. And you have commands and scripts. That's for your on-prem. I'm not going to touch upon these right now. But yeah, notifications comes under logic. So now what I'm doing is once the email is sent, I am giving it a 48-hour delay. So when I've given it a delay for 48 hours, the workflow status would show delayed because there's a delay function here that I've given or a delay action. So for 48 hours, the flow will be stopped here or paused here. And then after 48 hours, it's going to start moving forward. Now, delay came from, again, under logic, flow controls, delay. Now, once it's delayed, I'm going to fetch the document and check what's been the status of it. If the document is not signed, that's what request status of the document equals not signed, similar to what we've seen in our filter criteria. You have your field, what is the condition, and what it should contain. Once that's done, I'm again going to send them an email telling that, hey, look, this is your first reminder, please sign the document. Also, one more thing to note, you can see it's just populating on the right side, it's populating. So as and when your workflow builds, you can data map your data fields from any of the above actions or trigger. It's not that the only the immediate previous action you could do it, or if it's a first well, technically if you have the first action, it's only be the trigger, but you can map it from any of these things. So I'm again sending them an email and delaying it for 48 hours and repeating the same. And if it's still not signed, the document status is still not signed, then I'm going to send them a final email telling that, hey, you need to sign it within 48 hours, else the offer will be withdrawn. This is just a simple use case that we've done. However, there are a lot more things that you can do. In this case, I've just done a small module of recruitment management, or you could use it. You could use Zoho Sign and Zoho Flow for your financial or for your finance processes, for your sales processes, or for different HR processes, and a lot more other things. So these are just the tip of the iceberg, or just the surface of these two products. There are a lot more to explore. There's a lot more to do with them. So based on your use case, give these products a try it out, and then come back to us if you have any questions. Now getting back to the presentation. So yeah, I know it was a long demo, but yeah, please bear with us. Yeah. Now you've tried understanding Zoho Flow, but if you need more understanding of it, you want to get some knowledge from our experts and see, hey, how Zoho Flow can work for you, you could scan this QR code and book a session with one of our experts. Now, don't worry if you're not able to do it now. We will be sending you a recording of the session. Along with that, you would have this QR code as well to scan. And in case you've missed it, or for whatever reason you're not able to do it, you can always write to our support and they'll be happy to schedule a demo session for you. With that, I have one last poll question for you. We'd like to understand how has been your experience on this webinar. And if you have any feedback for us, please feel free to share it as a question. And we'll try incorporating it for our next session. And on that note, I would call Nandana back.
For a better understanding of Zoho Sign and Zoho Sign's integration with Zoho Flow, here is a list of resources, including our help documents, knowledge base, legality guide, and solution guide. You don't have to worry about noting everything down right now. We will be sharing this presentation with you after the session is done, so you can access these links at your own pace. On that note, Zoho's user conference, Zoholics, is taking place between 13th to 15th May at Georgia Brown Convention Center at Texas. Scan the QR code shown on the screen to register now and come say hi if you're in town. Well, that brings us to the end of our webinar. We hope you find our webinar useful and informative. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to connect with you soon.